Hey guys, my name's Lenny, welcome back to my channel. You may have seen some of my previous Dachshund videos, or this might be the first one you're seeing. If this is the first one you're seeing, then please feel free to pause and go back and watch the other ones. So following on from my first video, I had someone leave a comment asking how I deal with puppy biting. Because in that video at the end, my 7-month-old puppy was licking/biting my face. And I think she was just wondering how I deal with that. So I'm quite lucky that I have multiple dogs, which means that they naturally teach each other what amount of biting is okay and playful and what is not okay. And also it means that they, generally speaking, always direct that puppy biting at each other rather than me. But what I definitely will say about puppy biting is that there is a balance between being in control and making sure that the puppy knows they're not allowed to bite you, but then also encouraging them to play with you and find you as someone quite fun. So I will use an example, and I'll try and pop a video in here of my other half who lets them puppy bite him and doesn't stop them, so they just get worse and worse and worse with him. Whereas with me, all I have to do is tell them no and they stop. So I'm going to just give a couple of tips for what works for me. Obviously there'll be different tips for everyone, but this has just worked for me. I know that a lot of people will say to yelp, and that will stop them because then they'll think that they've hurt you and they will retreat. I personally have found that making loud noises when they're biting does just make them think that you're being playful, and they might continue it and be even worse. Also, what I find definitely doesn't work is to make any fast, vigorous movements, because again, they just think it's a game and they will just go harder and faster at you with their puppy bite. The first thing that I have found personally works for me is that if the puppy is leaping at me or trying to fight with me or play with me, the first thing I will try is moving them away from me, putting my hands up in a stop motion and just saying, So just a sharp, And that generally they'll sort of stop in their tracks, look at you and decide to make a different movement. So that doesn't always work. So other ways that you can stop them from puppy biting is to distract them with something else. So that might be that you go and get some treats and you start doing a little bit of training with them. So using that energy that they have to educate them and train them. Other things you can distract them with would be toys. But what I would say is that you want toys that are long. So if I try and find one. So toys that I would use would be long toys where they're nowhere near my hands. So something like a long ropey like this, so it's frizzy on the end. And Ruben's just taken the other toy. Or something long like this that has a squeaker in each end. And again, they're really far from your hands. What I will do if I'm playing with these toys is I'll play really low down to the ground with them so that they're not having to jump and leap at me in order to play. So you can distract them by diverting their attention towards a toy, but you've got to get it right. So you need the toy to be, I believe, to be long so that they're nowhere near your hand. And if they start getting close to your hands, swap hands and divert their attention elsewhere. And also play low to the ground so that they're not having to jump up and leap and find fun in jumping up, because you don't want them to learn that that's fun. Sometimes I find that if they are jumping at me and trying to bite me and encourage me to give them attention, maybe they generally do just have something that they need my attention for. So that might be that they haven't been out to the toilet for a while. So what I'll do is I will take them out to the garden, see if they need the toilet. Or maybe they didn't eat their breakfast and so they're maybe a little bit hungry. They might be trying to tell me that. So again, I will go and find them something to eat. I just want to reiterate that I do have multiple dogs, so I don't have a huge issue with puppy biting because, as I said at the beginning, they do tend to direct any of their biting amongst each other in play, like they're doing right now, which I will film in a minute so that you can see them playing. So as you can see here, I'm sat right here. Nemo can run up to me if he likes, but he is choosing to focus his biting inhibition towards Eva. So they're just playing there, and it does look quite rough, but it's absolutely fine. And one of them will yelp if they're uncomfortable with the amount of biting that's going on. But I'm just going to recap what I do personally. So if I really want them to instantly stop biting me and puppy biting with me, I'll try a firm hand up stop. So I'm not going to do anything that's going to be swayy or something that encourages them to play. It's just a firm hand up stop and then That's it. Again, you'll need to move them away from you in order to do that. The second thing is I might use all of that fun energy that they've got and put that into training. So go and get some treats and start doing some of your common training: sit, lie down, stay, leave. So the third way that I might stop this puppy biting is by going to get a long toy to distract them and play that way, so they're not playing with my hands or me, they're playing with the toy. But I do want the toy to be long so they're not catching my hands when they're playing, and I want to do it low to the ground so that they're not learning it's fun to leap up at me. And then finally, as I said, it might be that they need your attention for an actual reason, so I might try taking them out to the toilet or giving them a little something to eat if I know they didn't eat their breakfast or their dinner. So that's my sort of 4 ways that I deal with puppy biting with Dachshunds specifically. If you've got any other questions that you want to know how I've dealt with it, then obviously comment below and I will try and answer them. And if you want to subscribe, that would be great, because I will be putting out loads more Dachshund videos now. And I did notice that someone commented asking if I would do a sort of day in the life with the 6 Dachshunds, so I will definitely get around to doing that at some point, which might be interesting or might not be, but there'll definitely be a lot of Dachshunds in it, so if you like Dachshunds, then subscribe, comment, like, etc. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to doing more videos. Also, it is Dachshund, not Dachshund, not Dachshund, Dachshund. Hello, Nee.